Huko Nyeri tunarejea hapa Nairobi, tunaungana naye Seth Olale akiwa katika majengo ya bunge atupashe mengi zaidi kuhusu matayarisho ya bajeti ya leo. Seth, kama unanisikia na.
Well, we're still here waiting for that particular much anticipated arrival of the Cabinet Secretary of Finance, that is National Treasury and Economic Planning. We are just about 1 hour, 10 minutes away from that particular grand, budget statement reading right here at Parliament buildings. But even as we continue to discuss matters budget for the financial year 2024-2025, I have with me here the whip, majority whip in the National Assembly, Silvanos Osoro. You are also here today. We saw you yesterday in that particular heated session regarding the Deputy President's travel dilemma. But today we're talking about matters money. But even before you arrived here, there were some concerns, that came to you and also a section of MPs in regards to some messages you're receiving on your mobile phone.
Yeah, it is indeed true. Somebody must have shared our contacts, right from the President downwards to all the members of Parliament. And we've been receiving messages. For the record, I've actually received close to 3,000 messages trickling in every second, with 50% of them being very vulgar, insultive and weird demands, telling us, calling us MPs, others telling us you must vote as I told you.
In relation to the finance bill 2024 or budget?
Unfortunately, there is a group of people that is taking advantage of the exposure of our contacts to merely display their frustrations with us and insult us. Half of them are about the finance bill, and or three-quarters thereabout, and the rest are of course insultive, others asking for jobs, others money, but it's normal. Those are our people. We take in positively, and but we'll use our brains. The Kenyans gave us a contract, a 5-year contract, to act on their behalf. There was public participation. The report will be tabled in Parliament next week. We'll see, we'll weigh the report as it is and then vote for or against, depending on how the report will come forth. We have the interest of Kenyans at heart. We will not pass punitive laws, against, Kenyans. So it really can't. They need to cool down, relax. We are here for them. They gave us a 5-year contract. After 5 years, they'll decide whether they'll renew the contract or terminate it.
And part of that contract is lowering the cost of living and increasing the economy, quite literally. Is it part of your mandate to deliver that?
Exactly, and that we've done. When we talk about lowering the cost of living, you start from very major things. There are 3 components in life that we all went to school for. That basic needs are food, shelter, and clothing. When you talk about food, that is why we've allocated a substantial amount of money in today's budget towards agriculture. And we've raised, well, in as much as there is debate on deduction from the last year's budget of about 2-3 billion, that has been mitigated by the addition of about 20 billion to the county's allocation funds, because agriculture is largely devolved. And that we are doing ideally. I mean, you remember when we came into Parliament in this very term, there was an issue of unga being very high. It is no longer high as we are speaking right now. So ideally, there is an effort by members of Parliament and the executive to make sure that we lower the cost of living in terms of representing our people. We are really pushing for that.
Even as we push for that, Mheshimiwa Osoro, there are also concerns because, we're talking today about budget, but from this, we'll be talking about finance bill, which is actually meant to fund the budget that is going to be read today. When you talk about the high cost of living, and you have budget proposals, tax proposals that have been introduced in this particular finance bill 2024, including the latest one, the increment in the road levy maintenance fee. This one really, because if you affect infrastructure, and if you affect basic commodities such as increase of levy on vegetable oils and, excess duty on bread and all that, it basically means the cost of living will not go down.
Kenyans are very ambitious people. We are ambitious by nature. And even their leaders are also ambitious. That there is nothing separated. It's what makes Kenyans. And we have a very ambitious budget. And that ambitious budget must have a source to fund it.
Is it Mwananchi centered? That is all everyone is asking.
Generally what we would say is that we have to find a way to fund our budget. However, we will not get to the point where we punish or make it so retributive that Kenyans are not able to go to work. For example, things to do with bread. That has been a debate that every Kenyan is saying that we do not want tax on the bread. We agree with them. I mean, a tax on bread. And we agree with them. We do not want to add something, an extra for purposes of raising revenue on bread. And we agree with them. Let it come to the House.
Baby diaper and sanitary towels through the eco-levy.
That is true. We are getting into the nitty-gritties and clause by clause once the report by the committee. Because the Committee of Finance has been collecting views from the public, members of the public, for the past 2 weeks. Okay. They have not, the proposals of the finance bill come from the executive. Yes. Then they get to us in the National Assembly through the Finance Committee. For a period of about 2-3 weeks, they collect views from the members of the public regarding what the executive proposed. They'll have dropped, by the time it gets to the House, they'll have dropped several clauses that Kenyans are raising issue about before it gets to the floor of the House. And I've assured them, especially things to do with the bread and such, be certain that we will not pass a punitive finance bill, but we must pass the finance bill. It will only make sure that those clauses that are contentious are dropped. There are clauses about vehicles, there are clauses about bread, as I've said. There are clauses about diapers and everything. That is debatable, if not entirely dropped, at least reduced. But we must fund the budget that we want to pass today. We must.
You better address that so that not to receive more messages. Okay? Okay, thank you so much. That has been the